Hey y'all. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Make sure all my lighting and stuff is right. Hey guys, how y'all doing? Thank y'all for coming back. Thank you guys for coming back. I'm hoping that StreamYard is acting right tonight. I've been having a few issues trying to make sure that everything is straight before we get into the live. My goodness, but thank y'all for coming back. I see you guys. I see you guys all here in the building. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see Linda Gamble, my mod, is here. Thank you for being here. I think Bill Wilson, she'll probably come in a little later. That's fine. But thank y'all for being here. Hey, hey, hey. Angela Hoodall says, hey, lady. Hey, hey, hey. What's up? Let's see who we got in here. Who we got? My degree is real. I love it. Joyce Pick, Angela Hoodall, of course, Linda Gamble, Tawana. Hold on, y'all moving. Tawana, Zeta Mom is here. Delilah T, Lorraine Tyler, Ella Rogers, Diana Flew. Who else is here? Who else? Velma Sadler, Rose Armstead is here. Who else? Rhonda's here. Miss Babette Brooks, hello. Liz Moore is here. It's Cookie Dough is here. Shirley Terry is here. Vernicia McCrary is here. Versina McCrary is here. Gloria Williams is here. Okay. You guys are still coming in, and that's great. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, we don't have any other news tonight. We're going to just jump right into our news here with this Aaliyah and all this stuff. If you guys saw the thumbnail, we're going to jump right in because it's so much that I want to try to get through tonight. And if we don't, then we'll do a part two like we did with Lisa Left Eye Lopez and all the other artists, okay? Well, let's get into it. Now, this particular live that we're going to do, or video rather, that we're going to do, is going to go into some of the sketchy things about Aaliyah's accident, okay? And it's going to tell some other things. Then we're going to get into like some TT type stuff, all right?
Just after taking off for Florida in perfect weather, suddenly plummeted to the ground. Along with 8 passengers, Aaliyah, a young Brooklyn native and a talented singer and actress.
Shockingly, this pilot was not certified to fly the ill-fated plane.
Barry, when Aaliyah died for a wrongful death, he got paid $90 million for her death.
Did y'all hear that? I'm gonna pause right quick. Barry Hankerson, which is Aaliyah's uncle, okay, which is Aaliyah's mama's brother, signed Aaliyah to Blackground Records, okay. Before 5 days before she died, he had some type of paperwork signed that said that he would not be liable to anything that happened to her. Coincidentally, 5 days after this plane crash happened, to where she was unalived, and he was paid $90 million. Did y'all know that? So that is why he don't really care too much about this situation. I'm gonna show you guys an interview later where he sat up there trying to act like he was all sad, when really he stood to gain more from her not being here anymore. But he was paid $90 million in a policy that he took out on Aaliyah, okay? And he cut Aaliyah's mama out of this policy and this money, so that, which is why he and Aaliyah's mom don't get along. All right, but let's continue.
No doubt in my mind that Aaliyah was murdered by her own team. Why did Hype Williams move her music video shoot from Miami to the Bahamas, where she ultimately died from an accidental plane crash, which should have never been an accident in the first place, because Lenny Kravitz sent a private plane to Aaliyah, which Hype Williams took from her. And of course, her abusive uncle, Barry Hankerson, took no blame for this accident, because he went to the court and told them 4 days before they went to the Bahamas that if anyone were to get hurt, that he doesn't want to be held liable. He wants to take zero responsibility. So we've got a bunch of sketchy men who are organizing a music video shoot to take place in the Bahamas without valid transportation. The plane that Aaliyah died in wasn't even made for passengers. It was a cargo plane. The pilot was on cocaine and alcohol, and Aaliyah wasn't even conscious when she was brought onto the plane. So who is at fault here? Because Aaliyah deserves justice. So
Absolutely.
Let's get into it.
Shout out again to Snow.
So on August 25th, 2001, we lost Aaliyah in a plane crash, which was deemed an accident, but I believe that her death was a wrongful death because this plane accident wasn't an accident at all. So Aaliyah was traveling, filming a music video when she passed away. This man, Hype Williams, actually moved the shoot to the Bahamas when they were already filming in Miami and using a green screen. Some people believe that this was a ploy to get Aaliyah traveling on her own because she's usually with her brother or her mother while she's traveling to shoot, so they could get her to the Bahamas and avoid the additional family members. This man, Hype Williams, is also connected to another artist named Left Eye.
Ooh, I'm sorry for the ad. I'm showing y'all the coincidentals here with Aaliyah's death, okay?
Here's how to book a car and vacation to match any adventure.
Y'all doing too much with the ads tonight, like for real. Ugh.
Who passed away in Honduras when they were on a trip together. So there's something going on with this Hype Williams fellow.
All right, so let me pause so you guys can get the connection. Hype Williams, which was the person who was over Aaliyah's video shoot, was also in Honduras with Lisa Left Eye Lopez when she passed away. Did y'all know that? So Hype Williams, you got some explaining to do, sir, because you're involved in two women. Well, not involved, but coincidentally, you were around two people who just so happen not to be here anymore while you were working with them.
It's weird. Was that I had heard that Lenny Kravitz had offered her a jet, and that Hype had took the jet. So that's what really pissed me off about the situation when I heard about that. So you can ask Hype about that.
That's what have you ever talked to Hype about it? Yeah. And how did that conversation go?
Ask him.
But I also am asking you.
Yeah, but ask him.
I feel like you had some things to say to him.
So Aaliyah was working with a choreographer named Fatima, which I'm sorry if I mispronounce her name. I listened to about 5 different ways to pronounce this name, and it seems to be Fatima. So Fatima claims that Aaliyah got a phone call stating that Dame was in an accident, which prompted her to leave. At this point, she was dating this man, and she was probably concerned about her boyfriend, so she headed out. But after a warning that the plane was too heavy, she became extremely nervous and didn't want to get on the flight. People had claimed that she was drugged and carried on. This is something we talked about in a previous video, that Aaliyah was supposedly on some type of medication and just like brought onto the plane. Like she wasn't even conscious. Fatma also took a picture of Aaliyah sleeping on the boat, claiming that she looked peaceful and wanted to capture the moment. Fatma would stay behind, claiming that she wanted an extra day on the island, which she was lucky for that one because she ultimately saved her life. But did she know something that we didn't know? When Aaliyah was out in the Bahamas shooting her music video, Lenny Kravitz actually sent her a private plane, which is very generous. But Hype Williams, the man who moved the shoot out to the Bahamas, took this plane, which is really convenient for him, but it's pretty suspicious that Lenny ever sent this plane in the first place. And when it comes to the plane that Aaliyah took, why was it available for takeoff if it was too heavy? Who approved for it to leave the runway? And the pilot had cocaine and alcohol in his system and a suspended pilot's license.
I know that.
2 weeks before the crash, Aaliyah's pilot, Luis Morales, had been on the wrong side of the law when he got arrested for possession of crack cocaine and got probation after a traffic stop on July 7th revealed traces of cocaine in his car. The autopsy further revealed traces of cocaine and alcohol. Shockingly, this pilot was not certified to fly the ill-fated plane.
Why was he allowed to fly the plane? It seems like everything that could have gone wrong was going wrong, and there was no regulation. It makes you question who's the person who organized this entire thing, which is Hype Williams. But I do want to briefly give a shout out to a couple of the Twitter accounts that I'm pulling from today. I will link them below because I've talked about this crash before and how I believe it's not an accident, and I found additional information I had to cover on my channel. As I mentioned earlier, Hype Williams ultimately moved the shoot to the Bahamas, and it seemed like he was trying to avoid Aaliyah's family, which her mother and her brother were there for her, but ultimately her family did sell her off. I want to remind you guys that at some point she was married illegally to R. Kelly, which we have talked all about their relationship before. It is disgusting what he did to her, and thank God, there's been somewhat, justice nowadays. I mean, Aaliyah was mentioned in the court hearings when R. Kelly was in trial. So, I mean, justice was served, but Aaliyah isn't with us, and she wasn't able to see this man go down who ultimately stole her innocence from her.
He told me that they were married, that she was pregnant. Reason they got married was because they felt like if he was married to her, and if he said he thought that she was 18, that he wouldn't be charged if someone found out she was pregnant.
R. Kelly's to blame, and her parents are to blame, because it's like they sold her to him. They had a sexual relationship that started when she was 15 and he was 28. They were married, and it was later annulled because the marriage wasn't even valid in the first place. But it's a really scary story when you look at her first album that he helped to produce, where she's quoted saying, "Age ain't nothing but a number." R. Kelly was harmful to Aaliyah. He took advantage of her, and she left clues behind through her music. Before Aaliyah's passing, she was featured in a film titled Queen of the Damned. This movie had a lot of foreshadowing of how evil the music industry could be. It also had some ends of her death. But I want to focus a little bit about this evil music industry because it kind of goes hand in hand with her family, because her parents sold her off to R. Kelly, and her uncle was a big part of her music management. Her uncle's name is Barry Hankerson. He's the founder of Blackground Records and ex-husband of Gladys Knight, who she claims that he is evil. He is a known control freak in the music industry, not allowing artists such as JoJo to have rights to their music. He's also had issues with people like Tony Braxton, and Tony actually ended up suing Barry for $10 million. This guy's just not a good man. I mean, he continued to work with R. Kelly after the allegations of what R. Kelly did to Aaliyah were already out there. He was the one who introduced Aaliyah to R. Kelly, and it was even rumored that R. Kelly had some type of relationship with Aaliyah's mother, which that is like, if there was some type of relationship between Aaliyah's mother and R. Kelly, it's just another whole other section to this story, which is so messy, because like, did the uncle and the mother work together to like kind of like give off Aaliyah to R. Kelly?
I found Aaliyah. As a matter of fact, Barry Hankerson, my manager, he's her uncle, told me to go up to Detroit and hear her sing. Once I got up to Detroit, I didn't have to hear her sing because she was glowing. I knew she had it. As soon as she started singing, that verified it. And from there, we became here. And everything is all good.
But now I want to go back to this accident and the situation with her uncle, because this man is giving me bad vibes. I feel like him and Hype Williams and Lenny Kravitz all worked together to ultimately destroy Aaliyah. I mean, when Barry, her uncle, spoke about this accident, he wasn't looking for justice. I mean, he was quoted saying like, "Oh, if it wasn't an accident, then let God take care of it." Of course he wants God to take care of it because he doesn't want to be investigated along with these other guys.
If it proves not to be, then the wrath of God will deal with it if it isn't.
You know what, Barry? The wrath of God will deal with you when you reach his gates. But anyways, I want to talk about his role here, because remember, he's manager of the year. I mean, he was sued for $10 million. It seems like he's screwed over so many different people. I think this is the most damning thing that I have to show you guys today. So 4 days before they went to the Bahamas for Aaliyah's music video shoot, her uncle and his company Blackground Records went into court and received some type of demand, some type of waiver, to where if there was anything that happened to anyone on set in the Bahamas, that they would not be responsible. Ultimately, her uncle went to the court in New York and said, "Hey, we've got something going on in the Bahamas. If anyone were to get hurt here, how do we protect ourselves and make sure that we can't be sued or be held liable?" And ultimately, they came up with this. And this was literally created 4 days before they went to the music video shoot. So it seemed like he knew that something was going to happen in the Bahamas, and didn't want his company or anyone to be held accountable. And literally, This complaint brings up the fact that, like, if anyone were to die, he would not be at fault. His company would have no damages sustained if someone were to pass away, which seems like a huge, like, waiver to have. Like, why does his company have this power, and why did they prepare this before this shoot where the main star passes away?
Barry, when Aaliyah died for a wrongful death, he got paid $90 million for her death. Am I supposed to say that on TV? For $90 million for her death.
Was that just for his rights or whatever he owned?
What she would have been able to make if she hadn't died.
Ultimately, this complaint right here, this contract, this situation that he filled out is just like, in my mind, like a confession. Like, this is him pretty much stating that there's going to be something happening at this music video shoot, and we're not going to be held for negligence. So there's a lot of mystery here, and honestly, in my mind, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around it and figure it out. Like, it's hard for me to conceptualize, like, the timeline of how all of this happened. And I feel like there needs to be some deep, like, documentary series into, like, exactly what happened and pulling all the paperwork forward and really investigating Background Records for their involvement in this. I mean, I have to include a video clip that I found where pretty much Aaliyah's production stage manager is screaming they killed her. This was back when she passed away, and this person was just out in the crowd claiming that they took her life. Will justice ever be served for Aaliyah? Honestly, I don't know.
All right, so we're going to stop it there. Now, did y'all hear where he mentioned in there that Aaliyah's mom had a relationship with R. Kelly? Did y'all catch that, or was it anybody catch that when he said it? Did anybody catch that? Aaliyah's mom is said to have had a sexual relationship with R. Kelly during the time that her daughter was messing with R. Kelly. Now, for those of you that watched the documentary Surviving R. Kelly, Aaliyah's mom denied all of the, somebody said they did catch it. Aaliyah's mom denied everything that they said her daughter did. Okay, all the background, the girls that were singing background for Aaliyah during the time that she was working with R. Kelly, they came forward to say that they were playing some type of game on the tour bus. They bust open in the door where Aaliyah and R. Kelly was in the back of the tour bus. And when they bust open the door, Aaliyah and R. Kelly were having sex on the bus. Now, Aaliyah's mama came back to say, oh, those are lies. Those are lies. Everywhere that my daughter has ever gone with R. Kelly on tour, wherever, I've always been there with her. I call cap and bullshit, because you weren't there, number one, when she got married to R. Kelly at some rinky-dink hotel by the airport. You weren't there. You didn't know about it until weeks after, at which you made her get an annulment. So, and I believe deep down that she knew some stuff was going on with R. Kelly, but because R. Kelly was kind of throwing some money her way, I feel like Barry Hankerson knew that an inappropriate relationship was going on between R. Kelly and Aaliyah. R. Kelly was making Barry Hankerson a lot of money during that time. So he was not getting ready to tell him anything in terms of you can't do this and you can't do that, because he didn't want to upset him and lose an artist. He knew some stuff was going on. He knew R. Kelly was flirtatious. He knew about it. He was flirtatious with Sparkle. So Barry Hankerson already knew what was going on. And I feel like a conversation was had with Aaliyah's mom, and Aaliyah's mom turned a blind eye to it because she admitted, allegedly, that she was sexually attracted to R. Kelly. So how is it that your daughter's sleeping with him and you are as well? It's weird. Don't listen to me tell you. Let me go ahead and play the proof, okay? Because we got it. Yeah, we got it. All right, so one of the girls who was one of R. Kelly's girls, she had a whole conversation with R. Kelly, at which R. Kelly told this girl this verbatim. All right, and I totally believe it because I've seen several interviews where this conversation has taken place with R. Kelly and this mama. Okay, so let me get to it. Oh yeah, we're gonna play it, honey. because she had a whole full-fledged relationship with him at her house while Aaliyah was in another room asleep. Aaliyah was knocked out sleeping. I feel like somebody might have given her something so she could be in a deep sleep, because that mama said that he came in that living room where she was in there laying down and they had some hanky-panky going on, and Aaliyah was right there in the next room. So, but the reason that they got that, the reason he married Aaliyah was so that he wouldn't be prosecuted, because she wouldn't be able to testify against him because she was then his wife. All right. Thank you so much, Les Moore says, Caramel, you have been bringing us that hot pipe of tea. You know, I try to be on it. Thank you so much, ma'am. I appreciate the super chat. All right. The super sticker. Thank you so much. Y'all know I be digging up stuff because I told y'all, honey, I be wanting to know the good, juicy stuff. So yes, we're going to get into it. I got some damn videos saved, y'all. Y'all forgive me, I'm still scrolling. But yes, please like the video if you didn't on your way in, because we're getting ready to release some good stuff, okay? Somebody said Aaliyah was Tina Turner 2.0. I blame R. Kelly because she was a child. Like, damn it, you should not have bothered her like that. All right, so. All right, so let me get to it. I've been pulling videos, y'all. All right, give me a sec. Here we go. Okay, yeah. All right,
So he's confiding in you at this point, and he's telling you about his own sexual abuse.
Yes.
Okay, right. So what kind of stuff did he tell you?
Lisa Van Allen.
First thing he confided in me about was about his own sexual abuse. He told me that his sister molested him when they were children. She would make him put a pencil in her vagina, do oral on him. He would do oral on her, things like that. So that made me really comfortable with talking to him about what happened to me. And, that was like the first initial thing that made us kind of bond. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we dealt with that. He told me about him and Aaliyah, their situation. They had a pact, pins and eyeballs, no matter what anyone said, or if anyone stuck pins in their eyeballs, they would never tell about their relationship. Things like that.
Okay, so what exactly did he tell you about his relationship with Aaliyah outside of the pins and eyeballs thing?
He told me that they were married, that she was pregnant, that they did doctor up the marriage certificate, so she would say that she was 18, so they could get married. And the reason they got married was because they felt like if he was married to her, and if he said he thought that she was 18, that he wouldn't be charged if someone found out she was pregnant, until they were able to get the abortion and get it annulled.
Okay, because I'd always heard that rumor that R. Kelly married Aaliyah because he had gotten her pregnant.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. And this came out of his mouth. I could take a lie detector test to this. This is what he told me, specifically told me.
Okay. I mean, you cleared out like literally a decades-old rumor.
Right.
Like,
no, it's not a rumor.
Actually,
it's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So R. Kelly was having sex with her from like what age? 14, 15?
Honestly, I'm not really sure the age, but I definitely know when they got married, she was 15. So if she was pregnant, I mean, I'm imagining at least 14, so.
Okay. So R. Kelly gets Aaliyah pregnant. They try to get married with a fake age. It ultimately gets annulled. Aaliyah never talks about it.
Yeah, they stuck to their pact.
Yeah. And I remember seeing an interview with Dame Dash, who had dated her, years later, right before she passed.
Yes. And
he even said that he had asked her about it once, and she said, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. That was the end of that. So, I mean, she stuck to that. Did you ask him at all why he was having, because he was probably, 24, 25 at the time? Like, why he was having sex with a 14-year-old?
Yeah, he was older. I never asked him why. I guess because we were kind of like in a conversation of just confiding in each other. But he did get a little more in depth with more details about when her mother found out, and that her mother, he actually stayed at their home in Detroit, and her mother actually was sexually attracted to him as well. And he said when Aaliyah would go to sleep, that he would, this is what he said. He said that he would go in the living room and him and her would do sexual acts on the couch while Aaliyah was sleeping in the bedroom.
R. Kelly was having sex with Aaliyah and her mother at the same time?
That's
not at the exact same time, but
that's
the
what he
same
said.
time frame?
That's what he says, yeah.
Oh, so maybe this is why Aaliyah's parents have never spoken out themselves.
Makes sense to me.
Okay. Wow, this is something I've never heard before.
Right. Came from his mouth.
Okay. And, you're 17 at the time, so I guess it didn't really...
There you go.
Yeah,
The same time that he was messing with Aaliyah, he was also messing with the mother. And the reason why she never pressed charges against R. Kelly is because she, too, allegedly was messing with him, okay? So it was some type of sick little twisted mess that was going on during that time. Now, another reason why Diane Halton, because that's her name, we're gonna speak your name on here. She actually has some type of pact with R. Kelly. And the reason why she didn't go after him legally and have him locked up when she found out that he was sleeping with Aaliyah all these years, there was some money that was paid to her, and she also has his his royalties. She's getting royalties. Like she owns owns most of his catalog. Diane Halton, which is Aaliyah's mother, owns most of R. Kelly's catalog. So that means most of the money that he makes from his music goes to her. And that was the agreement that they had, that she would not go to the authorities on him to report him, which he would be in prison. He would have been in prison since before the first case. Since before the first case, he would have been in prison. Because prior to that, he had already settled out, get this, 10 cases prior to Aaliyah. Okay? When Aaliyah initially came to Black Ground Records to work with her uncle, Barry Hankerson, okay, Aaliyah's voice was not really ready. Now, she did sing in different other places, and I'm hearing this from Public Announcement, who used to sing with R. Kelly, okay? They were saying that when Aaliyah first came into the studio, y'all know how they have the thing when you're recording and they have the little thing up here. She was singing and they said that she sounded like she was whispering, and they had to actually teach her how to sing in the studio. So R. Kelly is a full-fledged liar when he sat there on that interview and said, when I first heard her sing, I just knew she had it. She just had something about her. Yeah, she did have something about her. Something that you saw in all the other young girls prior to Aaliyah, that you settled in order to keep yourself from being exposed, R. Kelly. Okay? Now, according to Lisa Van Allen, $250,000 was his going price for most of his lawsuits that were filed against him, which was called hush money. If you know R. Kelly back in the 90s, he was making bank on his music. Not to mention all the music that he was writing for other artists that was like a continuous stream of income for him. So a lot of the money that R. Kelly made, he was also sending right back out in lawsuits because they were steady coming in like a revolving door. From this girl saying that he touched her inappropriately to this girl saying that he did this and this and this. So he was hiring these younger girls. Go back and watch the R. Kelly documentary. He was hiring these young girls that were teenagers to come, and they were supposed to be singing background vocals for Aaliyah. But then when they would get there, they would be expected to do sexual things with him, and in addition to threesomes with each other. And he was paying them so much money. And you know how if you 15, 16, 17, you getting thousands of dollars, like, where are you going? After a while, it started becoming a natural thing to them. One of the girls, he got pregnant and tried to make her have an AB and told her, you need to go and get this taken care of because, like, I'm R. Kelly and you're not getting ready to bring me down. So he paid the money to have her go and have the AB done so that he could protect himself. The same thing he did with Aaliyah, and he was putting hands on Aaliyah as well. Okay, he wasn't just sleeping with Aaliyah. He was putting hands on Aaliyah. And she never, ever wanted to speak on that. And I feel like Aaliyah was getting to the point to where she was starting to open up and talk when she was dating Dame Dash, because she was starting to tell him things. And she had made this pact with R. Kelly as to say that she would never, ever speak on certain things because R. Kelly knew that if Aaliyah started talking, that would be the end of his career. He would be in prison probably for the rest of his life for all the things that he had done. So with Dame Dash, dating Aaliyah and hearing all these things that she was telling him about R. Kelly, Dame Dash and Jay-Z being best friends, when Aaliyah was pillow talking, I'm willing to believe that Dame Dash was probably letting Jay-Z know because they were tight. They were buddies like this, which is why the two of them fell out when they decided to do the Best of Both Worlds tour, because he was upset that Dame Dash was upset that Jay-Z decided to work with R. Kelly because of the things that he has shared with him that R. Kelly was doing to Aaliyah, which was his girl at the time. Does that make sense? So R. Kelly, like I said, he had settled so many lawsuits before Aaliyah even came into the picture. So with Barry Hankerson sitting his ass on Dr. Oz's interview and saying he knew nothing about that and fake crying when you knew that you went and filed this paperwork so that you could get $90 million from her death, and you cut your own sister out of it, which is why they don't even speak to each other or have anything to do with each other, period. He sat there and tried to blame shit on his sister in the interview. He's greedy. He treated Gladys Knight like shit when he was married to her and tried to keep her children so that he would not have to pay her child support. This is the type of person Barry Hankerson is. He's money hungry, and he's an evil demonic demon who did not protect his niece from R. Kelly, knowing that he was having pedophilia behavior with his niece. But because he was bringing him money and making hits for Black Ground Records, which was his record company, he decided to turn and look the other way. Okay. Yeah. Said he only wanted virgins because it's he wanted those young girls, and that's who he fooled with. That's who he fooled with. All right. We ain't done. We got some more. We got some more. Yes, we do. There's more. All right. Now, oh my God, it's so much. It's so much. Some of this stuff really made me upset when I was looking at it with this damn R. Kelly. And also it made me upset too with Barry Hankerson, because I feel like I said, he could have protected her, but he turned a blind eye. And then he tried to blame, he really tried to blame Aaliyah's mom for most of this, when I feel like it had a lot to do with him. So I'm going to go ahead and play the Dr. Oz interview so that you guys can see this bullshit. Because I said, I know damn well he ain't sitting up here trying to make it seem like it's somebody else when it's him. All right, let's get past the ad. All right, let's back him up. Okay, we're going to do the beginning.
By R. Kelly occur. Our show, senior investigative correspondent Marsky Avacampo has the latest.
Right. Ever since appearing on Star Search at just 10 years old, single-name sensation Aaliyah seemed destined for greatness. She burst onto the music scene at 14 with her double platinum debut album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, produced by her supposed mentor, R. Kelly. Soon after, the alleged sex abuser reportedly had his tour manager get a fake ID for Aaliyah by bribing an official, changing her age to 18 so Kelly, then 27, could marry the 15-year-old. But her parents quickly had the marriage annulled, and Aaliyah reportedly broke off all ties with the singer. The Princess of R&B went on to achieve great success during her short life, making 2 more hit albums, earning multiple awards and 5 Grammy nominations. The self-proclaimed perfectionist was even the youngest person ever to perform at the Oscars in 1998. Praised as a role model by many, she's credited with helping redefine hip-hop, pop, and R&B in the 90s. The sky was the limit for the singer, dancer, and actress, who was cast as the star in 2 movies and had just started filming the much-anticipated Matrix sequel. But on August 25th, 2001, at the age of just 22, Aaliyah's life was tragically cut short when her plane crashed, leaving the Bahamas after a music video shoot. Suspicions soon arose about the pilot, but her untimely death was overshadowed just weeks later by another tragedy, 9/11. Now, 20 years later, she's cited as Jane Doe #1 in the case against R. Kelly, and more questions have emerged about what really happened that fateful August day.
Maros Cavacampo joins us now. I want to start with the disturbing allegations that have emerged from the R. Kelly trial. What are prosecutors saying that he did to Aaliyah?
Yeah, the reason Aaliyah is part of this case is because prosecutors say she is one of the victims in a decades-long criminal enterprise led by R. Kelly, essentially for the purpose of sexually abusing underage girls. Now, during this trial, one of R. Kelly's former tour managers testified that he is the one who personally bribed a government official to get a fake ID for Aaliyah, saying that she was 18 years old when she was really 15. Why did he do that? Because R. Kelly reportedly wanted to marry her. That's what this man testified. And he said that R. Kelly wanted to marry her because he had gotten Aaliyah pregnant. And he wanted to be able to legally authorize an abortion for her as a minor at just 15 years old. And he also wanted to protect himself from prosecution.
It's reprehensible.
It's awful.
I understood the getting married part. I didn't realize there was a potential baby involved.
And he was seeking protection for himself, according to this testimony, that he didn't want to get in trouble for this pregnancy, and so he was trying to fix it.
On August the 25th, as you heard earlier, 2001, Aaliyah and 8 others died in this fiery plane crash just a minute after taking off from an airport in the Bahamas. Sadly, no one survived. Now, she'd been filming a music video just 200 miles east of Miami. A witness has since come forth claiming Aaliyah was given a pill before she got on the flight. What have you uncovered about that allegation?
Yeah, the new book, Baby Girl, reveals some new details about the final moments before that tragic accident. And according to the author, Aaliyah was sitting in a taxi as her team and the flight crew argued nearby about whether or not to take off, and she complained of having a headache. Now, reportedly, a baggage handler nearby said that someone from her entourage gave her a pill. She took the pill, and that right after, she fell into a very deep sleep. So deep, in fact, that she was carried onto the airplane still asleep and may not have even been aware that she was on the airplane. Now, we should say we don't know what that pill was. It could have been aspirin. Maybe she was just very tired from a long video shoot. And the baggage handler did say that she took it willingly. But it does reveal some new information about those final moments.
It's just the whole process is so bizarre what she was living through. And I guess when you have that kind of fame that early, there are things that happen. Yeah. But this did not work in her favor. After the crash, investigators determined the small plane was carrying about 700 pounds over its limit. And this is important. The center of gravity was too far back in the aircraft. The pilot must have been doing some of these calculations. Why would he risk his own life? And what do we know about him?
Yeah, according to the book, the pilot did not want to make this trip. And he reportedly argued with Aaliyah's team because he thought that it was unsafe. So he did make those calculations and he did decide that it was unsafe. However, after protracted negotiation, they went through with that flight. Now, we did also learn some new things about this pilot. According to autopsy results, he had both alcohol and cocaine in his system.
The pilot
did.
Whoa.
He was not the authorized pilot for that plane. And he had just joined that company a few days prior to that flight. So he was very new with that company.
Maura, thanks as always for the great insights.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
All right, so what y'all think about that? Rose said, why you not using your thing? I got it right here. I'll be holding my phone because I don't be liking those ads to pop in so I can hit it right quick. But I'm getting ready to mount it here in a second. But what do you guys think about that information so far? Okay. They're saying that the pilot even argued in terms of not wanting to take that flight. So it was something weird to where this guy just kept saying, like, you need to get on this plane. You need to get on this plane. It's just weird that they kept pushing her to get on this plane. Even she felt something eerie about this plane ride to where she was saying, I don't even want to get on this plane. Maybe her premonition was telling her that you shouldn't do this. But the damn producer of the video set was pushing for her to get on this plane. It's so weird. And now I'm starting to feel like maybe he was in on this situation with Barry Hankerson, or maybe he stood to gain some financial gain if in fact something happened with this plane and it went down and they passed away, because $90 million, maybe, just maybe, he stood to get a cut of that money. I'm thinking that. I'm sorry. I feel like that may have been the case. All right, let me put my phone out. We get ready to now listen to Barry Hankerson and his damn lies. Okay. Yeah, let's put this up here. Because, child, Barry Hankerson, baby, you need to be in jail. That's all I got to say. You need to be in the jail. All right.
For Aaliyah's fans and family, her tragic loss is still fresh even 2 decades later. Barry
Oh, shit. See what I'm talking about? Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Barry Hankerson is Aaliyah's uncle and the founder of Black Ground Records.
All right. Can y'all see?
the label that released her music. He was married to Gladys Knight. He's worked with everybody from Tony Braxton to Missy Elliott, and he joins us exclusively now. You started your label when no one else would support Aaliyah. Mm-hmm. What happened?
Well, it's pretty typical in the music business. She was so young that.
Oh my God. This shit here. See? Cancel. Oh my God. I'm gonna learn how to upload my shit on the internet.
A lot
here.
of people just didn't have the foresight to envision.
Okay. What the hell? And I keep pressing the same button, y'all. I'm sorry.
A year or two down the road of working with someone and developing. At that time, things were pretty instant. Oh, you got an artist? Let's hear the record. It's a hit, or let's put it on the radio. Where really sometimes you have to develop an artist, give them an opportunity to find what they wanted to do and who they wanted to work with.
I said alcohol.
What is it that made your niece, Aaliyah, such a superstar, a one in a million find?
Oh my God, that is so difficult to answer. She had, from a little girl, she had a way that she just did things slightly different. She would view a movie slightly different.
He's so fake.
She would dress slightly different. And it was just her peers and her friends and her family were just always in awe of whatever she did. She would just come out and start singing one of her favorite songs, My Funny Valentine. And in fact, she did that on a show called Star Search. Yep. And she just was so special. We knew how special she was until she started talking about singing. I don't think any of us knew where she was headed until she actually started singing all the time and wanting to perform. And because of my profession, it just happened to be, hey, why don't we see what we can do?
About a year and a half ago, you had a stroke.
Yes.
Could have been devastating. It's pretty scary. How did that brush with death impact how you now view the passing of Aaliyah?
Oh. Well, it kind of made me feel closer to her, to be honest with you, because when I had the stroke, it was so out of the blue and so sudden. For about an hour, I didn't know where I was. I was in some dark place, but I could feel the presence of other people. Mm-hmm. And I believed the other person was my mom. And she spoke to me and told me to get out of here and go back. And I said, Mom, is that you? I can't see you. And she said, you're not supposed to. You see me when you come back. And then I looked up and I began to gather myself and realize something happened to me, but I didn't know what it was.
So you had a near-death experience. How did that color what you think Aaliyah went through as that plane was crashing a minute after takeoff?
Oh, God. Believe it or not, I was thinking about her music. I was thinking about because I worked on it every day, very obsessively. So I felt like she was with my mom.
So does it make you more comfortable that Aaliyah might be there with your mom, or did you feel worse that she had to go through this as well 20 years ago?
No, I'm sure Aaliyah and my mom are in the same place. Yeah. After that experience, it's no question in my mind.
Where were you when you found out about the plane crash?
I was on my farm in Georgia, and got a call, and somebody says, you got a long distance call. It's from the video shoot, because I knew that they were shooting a video, obviously. And I ran to the phone, and I spoke to the director, Ike Williams, and he said, Aaliyah's gone. And I was devastated. I immediately called Minister Farrakhan and asked him, could he call God? Could he talk to God?
Here come the fake tears, y'all.
And he said, oh, my brother, I can do.
It's a lot to process. They've been 20 years later.
I can never come to grips with she's gone. She's so wonderful.
Not one tear. Not one tear. What you like?
If you could go back and change anything, what would you do differently? How would you protect Aaliyah?
Oh, God. That's a good, ugly question, because there's so many things and so many nights that I've stayed awake wondering if I had made a plan different, or if I had been there to the video shoot myself. If my sister had been there, if this person had been there or that person had been there, we could have helped to make a better decision on taking that airplane.
So whose idea was it for her to go down to the Caribbean to shoot this?
Hype Williams. Yeah, Hype was the director. Be very honest with you, I did not want to use Hype Williams, but there was a push from management, which is her mom, to do what video with Hype. I did not really want to work with Hype Williams. I regret that. If I could do it over again, I would not have worked with him. And I don't know where the video would have been shot. Would it have been still shot there or someplace else? But it's the first time I've ever said that. But that's what was in my heart when his name came up.
So it was more your sister than R. Kelly pushing for Hype Williams?
I don't know, but that's a very good question. There was some type of rapport my sister had with Robert Kelly that began to creep into our lives. And I really don't know what that is. I really couldn't tell you what that is. That's something my sister would have to talk about. But I did feel, because of Hype and R. Kelly had a relationship, because he directed a lot of Robert's videos. So the fact that you just said that is very amazing, because it was a push to use Hype more than there was a push to use anybody else. So at that time, that was after the debacle with R. Kelly. I was for not having any linkage to Robert Kelly at all through directors or whatever. So that did come up that way, and I lost that battle, and Hype became the director.
Let's talk about this a little more. There's with the release of these streaming songs that you're beautifully putting out there, which we're going to talk about, there's been more talk about some of the terrible things that happened to Aaliyah as she was going up through the business. When you learned, I'll say that, what did you do when you learned that R. Kelly had illegally married your niece Aaliyah?
Went crazy. I really went into myself. I met with the minister and really had to debrief me. And because my reaction was not a good reaction, I had no understanding of it. I had no compassion for it. It was just totally out of the realm of what I would think any young girl should have had to experience. And I made myself known, obviously, to Robert Kelly and in a conversation, and I've never spoken to him again to this day.
What did you say to him?
Things like, who do you think you are? And we trusted you. I've worked very hard to make your career happen.
You were managing him.
Yes.
You must have felt terribly betrayed.
I was betrayed.
Dr. Oz,
and my whole family was betrayed. We
Barry
gave
Hankerson.
him not just an opportunity to learn how to perform, but we gave him a lot of love and understanding, because he had a tough life. I felt like that kind of betrayal, that you have to do something to somebody. But because of the mentorship of the minister, I totally went another direction and simply just followed along with my sister and just kept it to a very low ebb in our family and to the public, so that Aaliyah would not have to experience as much strife and pressure that could come from her family. You know, she wanted to pursue her career. That was important to her. It was not to let anybody persuade her not to do that. And at times, Robert Kelly was very disruptive in trying to make decisions for us with Aaliyah's music. You know, he always wanted to be the center point of making her music. In fact, after we stopped working with him and decided to go in another direction, and we worked out a release from Jive Records to Blackground, he was still trying to produce the music. And we said, no, you're not ever working with Aaliyah. You will never be with her in the studio again. And people were questioning me, well, how are you going to repeat the success of the first album without him? And there's somebody else that can do this music. You know, I've been in this a long time. There are other writers and producers
And lo and behold, we met Timberland and Missy. I have to say anything after that.
You've had conflict with your sister, Aaliyah's mom, over this process. Much is in rumors. Well, one of the rumors, obviously, that's out there, I just want you to put this to bed for if you can, was that R. Kelly had actually paid Aaliyah's family to be quiet about what happened. Any truth to that?
I don't.
He's talking about he don't know about that. Nigga. Sorry for the ad guys.
Get access to
And the other ad guys.
all from our app.
Oh my
In a
God.
few clicks.
Think
Okay,
so.
we're back.
I think it was it was mentioned. It was, you know, when
He lying.
a person was as successful as he was, you had a label involved. They had an interest to keep him afloat. They were making a large amount of money on every record we did. So it was natural for me to see executives, you know, hovering around him, making sure he was okay. They didn't know how to relate to Aaliyah, you know, but they were trying to see if the guy was okay, if the man involved was okay. And that's why I went to the owner of Jive Records and said, I can't be here anymore. I have to go. Aaliyah has to go. But you have a contract. I said, I don't care what we have. We're going to have to figure out a way to get out of that. And so what I did do was had an attitude of unrelenting, this is the way it has to be. So we got out of there. We went to Atlantic Records. And even Atlantic Records said to me, well, you know, Barry, we think Diane would be okay with Robert working with her again. How are we going to repeat the success you just had? And it was something inside of me that kept saying, we'll do it again.
Here come the fake crying again, y'all.
I believe in Aaliyah. Y'all believe in R. Kelly. I believe in Aaliyah. And we did it again.
Did.
Aaliyah was with me. She was with me. She said, okay, Uncle Barry, let's listen to the Timberland music. And my son, Jomo, went to Detroit and we started recording in Detroit. The first record we recorded was 1 in a Million. Baby crying, cricket on it. We loved it.
We are back with Aaliyah's uncle and music mogul Barry Hankerson. Barry has said in the past that Aaliyah's death tore his family apart. His sister, Aaliyah's mom, Diane, is the executor of her estate and released a statement objecting to the streaming release of her music. So, Barry, what led to your estrangement? And how do you bridge this divide? Because, listen, families can be tough. If we weren't related, we wouldn't even be friends with our family half the time. But it's still family.
Well, I have not really tried to bridge the gap because I really don't know how wide the gap is. I don't know why it became a gap. I'm a worker. I work every day, all day. I live on a farm. I literally farm every day. I feed cattle. I feed horses. I will bush hog a field. And that's what I know to do. That's what my father taught me. Work every day, son. Work every day. At some point, you'll get somewhere. So I don't know really what went on in my sister's mind. I don't know why she's done some of the things that she's done that I grossly opposed to. And I don't know this group of people that calls themselves the estate. I don't know if that's made up of my sister and my nephew, if that's a new group of accountants or lawyers.
What has your sister done that you oppose, that bothers you?
I really can't get into that. But it's something one day I hope she comes to grips with. You know, but a lot of things we all have done in life that we wish we hadn't have done, that was just completely out of character and out of context. But at this point, I'm forgiving whatever my sister did or whatever she feels pain toward me for. I forgive you. I have no problem. The loss of a child, you have to reach to that parent with a lot of love, and that's what I thought I was doing by keeping the music not just everywhere, but you know, I gathered the music back up so we could get some control of it. And not everybody, I thought we would create a demand for the music so we could create a good distribution system. And we've done all of that.
Is your estrangement from your sister related to R. Kelly?
I'm certain in some way it really is. Yes. Yes.
Do you see yourself getting past that ever?
No. No.
You're a pretty cut and dry guy.
Well,
you're a farmer.
I've been living with this a long time.
Were you aware of the issues going on with R. Kelly when they were going on?
No. No, didn't have a clue. Completely ignorant to it.
Do you think anyone in the family was?
Yes. Yes, I think my sister knew a lot more than what we thought she knew.
So you're not just bringing Aaliyah's music to streaming. You're actually at this new Music 360 app.
Yes.
It's got all your black-ground artists, right? I believe, a part of it, right?
Yes.
You've got Tony Braxton, we've had on the show. We've got new artists like Autumn Martini. You've got a bunch of superstars on this thing. What new music will Aaliyah be bringing to this platform as well, so fans get to hear all the artists I've spoken to and her new stuff?
Well, we had the opportunity over the last 4 or 5 years to work with artists, current artists, superstar artists that love Aaliyah, people that I would bump into in different cities or theaters and say, hey, brother, my name is Drake and I love Aaliyah. I just want to let you know I really loved your niece. And I said, well, would you be interested in doing a duet with her on one of the songs that we didn't complete? My son Jomo worked out a situation with Drake, him and his producer 40. So we gave them some tracks that Aaliyah was on, and Drake did an incredible job at recrafting an Aaliyah vocal with him. And that's coming out on the app, and that's part of the Unstoppable album.
How's the app going to change how people listen to music?
Well, it's an interactive social media type app. You can share the music, which is really a very desired request from music users on the app world, is to be able to play an Aaliyah record and then share it with somebody as far away as another country. We have programmed this app so that you can actually meet and greet people in other worlds. Music is the one thing that can bring people together. And part of this app is to do that.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Folks, go to music360.app to sign up for Music 360 and head to droz.com for even more information.
Fake,
We reached
fake,
out to
and
Aaliyah's
fake.
mom, Diane, for comment. We have not heard back at this time. Now, she's an important part of this story. I want her to know if she ever wants to respond and share her story, she's welcome here.
And she never will. She's not speaking and she will never speak. He is upset at Aaliyah's mom because she got their catalog, which he stood to gain a lot of money from this catalog because R. Kelly was one of his biggest artists. That is why he's mad at that sister. He knows full well why he and that sister don't talk. Aaliyah's mom. He knows why he and Aaliyah's mom don't speak, because of the money. That is why he went and filed that paperwork to get that $90 million. He wanted money. And the very next day when he found out that Aaliyah passed away, guys, and I could play the damn video to show proof, he and another guy who was supposed to be working at the damn record company with him at Black Ground Records went out and was partying up and drinking up and having a good old time. He ain't thought about Aaliyah. That's why I said all them fake tears when he's sitting up there with Dr. Oz crying and doing all that. That's some fake bullshit. Fake, fake, fake. All he thinks about is money. He's been using Aaliyah all these years, still making money off Aaliyah and blocking her mom from getting any of the profits, and that's her daughter. Now, I get it. You did help her get in there with your record company. I get that. But anything that Aaliyah makes after that should go to her mom. So he don't want her mom to have nothing. And it pissed him off when she outthought him and told R. Kelly, I'm not going to have you arrested, but you got to turn over half of your catalog to me. So she is going to forever get paid. And we all know how much R. Kelly's catalog is worth. We all know how much his catalog is worth. R. Kelly's had nothing but mostly #1 hits. And that's not including songs that's just on his album. That's also including music that he wrote for other artists, including Michael Jackson. Okay? Yeah. He's pissed about that. He is pissed. That's why he went and filed that paper to get $90 million. Why he said, oh, I work on a farm. He's trying to make it sound like he's just scratching and surviving. No, sir, you're living real well off of Aaliyah. You're living real well off of this girl who lost her life. And you want to sit here and act totally oblivious to what was going on in this situation when you knew all along that R. Kelly was inappropriate with this girl. You knew that. But he was putting money, he was lacing your pockets. So you won't gonna say nothing to him about that. He is such a, oh, Lord. He is such a liar. All right, so one more. We're going to show one more thing, then I'm going to let you guys go, okay? I'm going to let you guys go. Lord, Barry Hankerson. I can't take the fake crime. The fake crime part is what pissed me off, okay? The fake crime part is what made me mad, okay? Let me make sure I get the right one. Okay, yeah. I want to play a little bit of this. We ain't gonna play the whole one, but the whole thing, but I'm gonna play just enough so you guys can get a gist of what's really going here with old Barry Hankerson with his crooked ass. And Aaliyah, I blame Aaliyah's mama too, because you could have shut some of this shit down too.
Well, no, we're not related at all. No, we're not. We're just very close. He's my best friend. In the whole wide world.
Barry, when Aaliyah died for a wrongful death, he got paid $90 million for her death.
Aaliyah Houghton's uncle has always acted as if her death has left him feeling betrayed and hurt. Nevertheless, new information regarding her death suggests that he may have played a role in his own niece's death. Barry Hankerson and R. Kelly have been revealed for their roles in Aaliyah's death and how they were paid $90 million for it. At the age of 14, Aaliyah Dana Houghton was a music icon. Her tragic demise, though, and her relationship with R. Kelly shook the entire world. Terrible secrets surrounding the singer's demise have emerged in the years since her death. Individuals close to her uncle, Barry Hankerson, are leaking frightening information, and as you would expect, Jay-Z is in the thick of it. So, what role did the Rock Boys hitmaker have in the death of Aaliyah? Let's find out.
I think everybody that knows Sean Carter knows that he will slump anyone in any relationship for $1. Look at how he did Dane. Like, I don't give a fuck if you wanted to get away from your homie, if you wanted to get away from your partner, but to do it the way he did it, it's malicious.
I raped my girl that he liked as well, right? Right. And then went on a tour with him.
If someone had said something could ever come between Jay-Z and Damn and Dash 3 decades ago, everyone who knew them would have laughed it off. Yet it appears that their friendship was not as mutual as they assumed, at least not until Aaliyah became involved. This narrative is full of twists and turns, and it may have led, in part, to the singer's sudden demise.
Just from what I know. Because whenever I would be around those dudes, he would be decent. He wasn't like it was all right, but it's just I knew too much. Yeah. So I couldn't be around him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want no parts of that bread. All money ain't good money.
How do you believe the story ends in a universe where two pals may have fallen in love with the same girl? For this pair, it resulted in the friends-turned-foes having a lifetime feud that continues to this day. While that is more or less common knowledge at this moment, most people have yet to understand how things got to this stage in the first place. Let's just say the plot was a little more involved than just these men's love interests, since betrayal and sorrow are also written throughout. The story of Dame Dash and Jay-Z goes back a long way, as the duo used to be more than just best friends. They even had a business together, but something happened along the way that changed the fate of their relationship for good. While the actual cause of Dash and Jay's ruined relationship remains one of rap's greatest mysteries, there have been numerous hints as to what transpired between them. Although Dash did not state that was the cause of Rockefeller's downfall, he did mention that Hobb was interested in Aaliyah. He tried really hard, Dash told Page 6 in a recent interview. He went on to say that Jay-Z wasn't the only one interested in the singer. Apparently, after realizing he wasn't going to get her, Jay turned Aaliyah into a sacrificial lamb.
I love Aaliyah more than anything, and she loves her parents more than anything. So absolutely. The one thing I'm not going to do is ever make her or her legacy or her parents feel uncomfortable. So it's some things that I just can't address.
Boji Peru Ayatollah Marf, who was an associate and close friend of Barry Hankerson, was with him when Aaliyah died. And it's evident that Barry was not devastated by her passing. In fact, despite his apparent grief over her passing, he went ahead and had a sumptuous supper with friends. Barry, as we've mentioned, was Aaliyah's uncle.
He got $90 million. He wouldn't stay at the L'Hermitage Hotel. We ate good. in deep mourning, right?
He is the man who is said to have aided Jay-Z in taking out the singer. Barry's motivation for assassinating his niece is clear. Money, but why was he compensated for Aaliyah's death? Aaliyah's uncle signed an agreement just 5 days before her death, stating that if anything happened to her, he would not be held liable. That is a bizarre arrangement to have in the first place, but the timing makes it stranger. Barry signs the agreement, and Aaliyah dies in a plane crash just 5 days later. After Aaliyah's death, Barry Hankerson wasted no time in settling cases and ended up obtaining a stunning $90 million. Aaliyah was signed to her uncle's record label at the time of her death.
Was that just for his rights or whatever he owned?
What she would have been able to make if she hadn't died.
Oh, okay. There was okay.
Behind the scene, it is said that Jay-Z pulled on the strings and that Barry was just a decoy. Apparently, R. Kelly was introduced to Aaliyah by the same Barry. Although the goal was to jumpstart Aaliyah's music career, this one meeting marked the start of years of torture for the then young singer. Despite the fact that he introduced Aaliyah to Kelly and was their manager, Barry has attempted to transfer the blame to Aaliyah's mother. Sparkle, a vocalist who collaborated with the R&B artist during the rumored marriage of Aaliyah and Kelly, says the same thing. She stated in an interview, "Who thought that was real? You know what I mean? I thought that was a hoax, that's not real, you know." Sparkle said, "That was my naivete of thinking that it wasn't real because, like again, Barry Hankerson was there. This shouldn't and couldn't have happened."
Were you aware of the issues going on with R. Kelly when they were going on?
No.
Line.
No, didn't have a clue. Completely ignorant to it.
Do you think anyone in the family was?
Yes. Yes, I think my sister knew a lot more than what we thought she.
While this was happening, Jay-Z, on this other end, was doing all he could to land Aaliyah, and so was Dash. Everybody was trying to get to Aaliyah. It was not just Jay, Dame said. "I did not know Jay was trying to holler at her, but then it just happened like that. He was trying, I was trying, everybody was trying, he was going hard."
Told me that they were married, that she was pregnant. Reason they got married was because they felt like if he was married to her and if he said he thought that she was 18, that he wouldn't be charged if someone found out she was pregnant.
Dash and Aaliyah eventually began dating in 2000 and were a couple when Aaliyah died in 2001. A former record executive believes his relationship with the slain singer had everything to do with her death, and Jay-Z is known as a man who doesn't handle failures softly. Dame's courtship with Aaliyah compelled him to separate from R. Kelly. He previously remarked that the fact that Hobb had a working relationship with Kelly concerned him. In a nutshell, after both R. Kelly and Jay lost Aaliyah, they joined forces to finish off the singer, and who else? You got that right, Dame Dash. I really am not on the best of both worlds. I didn't go to a show. I didn't have my name on any of that. I was in Fiesta, but only because Aaliyah said she wanted me to do it that way, Dash told hip-hop motivator Kenyatta Griggs. Dash also said that this proved to him that he and Jigga weren't on the same page morally. "I know I'm not effing with that. I knew, morally, we weren't the same. To me, Rockefeller was defunct. It was over. I couldn't fuck with it. It was something that, to me, I don't want to say unforgivable, but I couldn't understand it." Yet there's much more to their story. According to an explosive new interview, Jay-Z's music relationship with R. Kelly was supposedly a big reason why Dame Dash and Jay, and ultimately their renowned label Rockefeller, split apart. Dash, Rockefeller's co-founder, talked about his former girlfriend Aaliyah, her relationship with R. Kelly, and how that finally led to the label's demise and a feud with Dame's co-founder Jay-Z. His remarks come as Lifetime's documentary Surviving R. Kelly premiered a few years back. According to the 6-part documentary, R. Kelly married an adolescent Aaliyah in 1994 after engaging in a sexual encounter with her and allegedly getting her pregnant. In one scenario, a former R. Kelly backup singer admits to seeing a then 27-year-old Kelly having sexual contact with a then 15-year-old Aaliyah on a tour bus. Dash told Hip Hop Motivation that he has been watching the docuseries and found the parts about R. Kelly's relationship with Aaliyah difficult to see.
At the end of the day, Aaliyah wouldn't want that. Yeah, absolutely. And that's all I care about. Whatever I feel personally, I got to put the people that I love before that. And I know what she would love and what she would want. She wouldn't want that. So even if it's right or wrong, that's not for us.
I watched some of it yesterday, as much as I could tolerate. Dash said, "I'm not gonna lie, as a human, I was tight. I was tight about a couple of things. Number one, there was a girl who she was even trying to talk about it, and she couldn't, and I remember Aaliyah trying to talk about it, and she couldn't. She would just leave it at, that dude was a bad man." Dash added that Aaliyah continued to struggle with opening up about her relationship with R. Kelly. "I didn't really want to know what he did, to the extent that I would, deal with it because that's what a man does," Dame said. "But it was so much hurt for her to revisit it. I wouldn't want to revisit it without a professional. Whatever got done was terrible." He went on to say that Jay-Z's decision to work with R. Kelly on 2002's The Best of Both Worlds album, while knowing Dash had difficulties with R. Kelly, ultimately contributed to Jay-Z and Dash's fallout. Dash also says that Jay-Z was aware of R. Kelly's preferences and what the Ignition singer had done to Aaliyah. "If you recall The Best of Both Worlds, you won't see my name on it. I never wanted anything to do with that," Dash stated. Dash alleges he refused to be named on the album and donated his revenues to a breast cancer awareness foundation funded by Aaliyah. Dash believes Jay, R. Kelly, and Barry had every motive to kill Aaliyah, as the interests of the three men were aligned. So there you have it. Should R. Kelly and Jay-Z be held responsible for Aaliyah's death? Let us know in the comments section below.
Boom. What y'all think about that? What y'all think about that? Jay-Z name is coming up in a lot of stuff. Jay-Z Jay-Z really wanted Aaliyah, and they said when he don't get what he wants, then he acts out. They said he wanted Aaliyah more than he ever wanted Beyonce. I saw another video that said that. Jay-Z wanted Aaliyah more than he ever wanted Beyonce. Beyonce was his second choice over Aaliyah. He knew what R. Kelly and Aaliyah had done, because I told y'all that before. R. Kelly told Jay-Z what he encountered with Aaliyah and what he and Aaliyah did. So Jay-Z was on his head to be able to get Aaliyah by knowing what she had done with R. Kelly. So R. Kelly was making her be with other girls. The same shit the other girls went through. Go back and look at the documentary with R. Kelly. The same thing the other girls had to do, Aaliyah was made to do the same thing. She was not special. She was not special. She was made to be in threesomes, and he would put his hands on her physically. Yes, she was made to do those things, and she was made to keep her mouth shut, or her career would have been ended. That is why she stayed and dealt with what she had to deal with. One, because she was locked in a contract, and two, she wanted fame. She wanted to be in the industry, and that's how he trapped them. And that's how he trapped the other girls, R. Kelly. That's how he trapped the other girls that were there, because he promised them careers. The girls that were singing background for Aaliyah, they were promised that they would, you're going to help Aaliyah get her career up and going, and then I'm going to help push your career, which it never happened. But they were made to have threesomes, and Aaliyah was messing with them as well. When Andrea Kelly, which was his ex-wife now, when she came in the picture, she too was laying in the back of the bus having threesomes with the girls. Every woman, and you could go back and look at the interview with his back. What's the group that he was singing with? Hold on, because I got my notes, y'all. What's his group? Public Announcement. Go back and look at the interview with Public Announcement. They used to sing with R. Kelly, and they made a lot of hits as well. They were saying in their interview that no woman that R. Kelly ever worked with that he didn't have some type of encounter with, because that's how he was. It's like, you give me, I'm going to give you this, and you got to give me this. His whole studio was set up like an apartment with beds. Who goes to a studio with freaking beds in every other room? He was sleeping with people. And he would promise these girls, just like Aaliyah, that he was going to make them a star, but you had to do certain things. And it was, y'all know. And he was also messing with her mother. And she didn't say nothing, because she stood to gain a lot as well. She's making a lot off that catalog. She's living off that catalog. And Aaliyah's father passed away. But during the time that Aaliyah's mother was allegedly messing with R. Kelly, her father was still alive. Now, where he was during the time that R. Kelly was at the house messing with the wife, I'm not sure. But she was messing with R. Kelly, and Aaliyah was in the next room sleeping. I feel like she may have been given a melatonin or something when they got her on that plane, because they said that she was completely out of it to where she had to be carried on the plane. Or it could have been something else that knocked her out. Maybe a date rape drug. We don't know. A date rape drug or whatever that they gave her. I don't know what it was, but I know they said minutes after she took this pill that they gave her, that she was out of it and she had to be carried onto the plane. So she didn't even know the plane crashed. She didn't even know. She was knocked out, which was great for her, because she probably would have panicked and had a whole heart attack seeing the plane going down, like everybody else who all around her was probably screaming during the time that it happened, because they were only in the air, they said, for a couple minutes or so before it came crashing down. So imagine her not being out of it, which is why I said the whole thing was a whole setup. I feel like her death was a setup. It's not a coincidence that it happened, and that 5 days prior, Barry Hankerson, you done went and got this paperwork together so that you can be, $90 million richer, because you were mad that R. Kelly had to sign over that catalog, which cut you completely out of the deal with Aaliyah's mom because of the inappropriate behaviors that he had with her daughter. Period. And that's what I got to say on it, and that's it. And that we're gonna end the show on that, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope y'all enjoyed this tea, because baby, listen, there might be a part 2 tomorrow, because I did dig up some more stuff. But we're gonna continue to pulling up. We're gonna continue pulling up more artists and things that are going on in the industry. Okay. Poor thing Aaliyah. She was groomed, and several men in the industry wanted her. I don't know what was so special about her. She was beautiful. Yes, she was. Visually, she was a beautiful girl, but it was some type of evil spirit that she carried with her that made these predators in the industry be drawn to her to where they just had to have her. They were fighting over her. And I think a lot of it had to do with R. Kelly and him running his mouth. Because y'all know how guys talk when they've been with this certain person and you want to be back with them or you want to be with them. They're giving you all the ins and outs of what she's good at and what she does. Y'all know that's how men talk. Man, let me tell you about what she did, man. Let me tell you about what she can do. So in his mind, like, oh, I got to have her. No, you too damn old for her. And then when she went to go work, we're going to go. But then when she went to go work with Missy and Timbaland, she get over there and Timbaland talking about, I'm in love with her. You're supposed to be producing her. But then you talking about, I'm so in love with Aaliyah, I couldn't focus. Like I couldn't stare her in the eyes because I was so in love with her. But I knew she was too young. What kind of pedophilia type of bullshit is that? Then you go out here and marry somebody who looks identical to Aaliyah because you said you were so much in love with this person. I feel sorry for his wife. I feel sorry for Timbaland's wife, who he publicly said that he only married you because you look like somebody that he was in love with. So, baby, you was a decoy in so many words. But let's get on out of here, child. Rest in peace to Aaliyah. I hope you guys enjoyed this tea tonight, baby. Tomorrow, we're going to be pulling up some more stuff. I may be doing like a small little part 2 on Aaliyah, and then we're going to go on into another artist, honey, and dig up some more tea because there's so much to talk about. We might do Mary J. Blige because there's a lot to talk about her, too. Because y'all know she had a whole AB. Y'all know that, too, because we talked about that before. But we're going to pick somebody that's real juicy, and we're going to get on into it, okay? But thank y'all for being here. Maz, thank y'all for such a great job. Thank you, Caramelians. Thank you so much, Les Moore, for the super sticker, ma'am. I appreciate you. Thank you so much to any content creators that joined us tonight as well. Somebody said the music industry is ruthless. It is. It is. It's so much we're going to uncover. So much more I'm going to uncover, guys, and we're going to keep doing. So if you guys enjoy this content, just keep coming back, and I'm going to keep giving you guys that good tea over here. All right, so see you guys in the morning for Car Chronicles. Love you guys all the way down. You guys be blessed and never stressed, okay? And goodbye.